Imagine you are on the world stage competing against the best athletes of the generation. The lights, the stage, the crowd, it is overwhelming, but you know you are just one top away from gold. The boulder, consisting of a start, a zone, and a top, it looks all right, but you never truly know how it will feel until you get on it. Your knees are weak, arms are heavy, but you grab at the start, pulling hard already. You've trained for this. You fly through the air, and by some miracle, you hang on to the zone. It feels like you've just climbed the hardest grade in your local gym. But the route setters, they're ruthless. They said, how about second breakfasts? You look up at the top and you realize that it just gets harder from here.
Time is a move away. He might do this. If he can just match his world champion, he is world champion. Wow.
What an unbelievable performance. Kevin takes the gold medal in what is undoubtedly the best performance to have ever graced the stages. I mean, just look at the crowd. It says it all. Incredible.
Hey, you. Yeah, I'm talking to you, you couch-grading, chalk-sniffing sack of rocks. Me? I can hear your delusions. They're so loud. You think you can compete? You know, I've always imagined myself to be a better climber than I actually am. And I think that's part of the natural process of climbing is you imagine what could be. It's easy to look at competitions when people who are climbing at the highest level make things look so effortless. And it's easy to see them and think that you could do that yourself. Maybe if it's just one move, maybe a couple, maybe a zone, or maybe even a top. But how hard is it really? I am here today to break down the true difficulty of our competition boulders. This is now the third or fourth set over the summer where we have had sets that mimic the difficulty of provincial, national, and even World Cup climbs. So, to the meat of the question, how hard are competition boulders? Now, first on our list is our provincial level difficulty of climbs. Now, at this competition level, things are pretty chill. This is the type of difficulty I would imagine it would feel like to climb at a world level. And that's bad news for us because we're only at the provincial level and we're already falling. You can see that the holds at this level are pretty decent. They do have positive edges to them. And even though they're facing the wrong way, you just need a little bit of good beta to get to the top. And as you can see, I do not have good beta. I am trying a lot of different strategies here, but none of it seems to be working, and I can't seem to figure out what the intended solution is. With just a minute left on the clock, I am already kind of worried. And I've never done this format, by the way. This is my first time doing a 5-minute on, 5-minute off competition format. And as you can see, it's only gonna get harder from here on to the national and international levels. But for the moment, I am able to stick that first move to the zone with a cheeky toe hook, and running out of time, I'm unable to get to the top. Feeling the effort that it took me to get to this point is already a little bit disheartening because I know I can climb better. I'm not feeling this set at the moment, but I continue on anyways to try the problem afterward, just to see what the top is like. And sure enough, it's not that bad. Provincial level feels like maybe V9-ish. Think about the hardest climb in your gym, and maybe we're around that level, maybe one grade easier. We're pretty close to that top level of climbs for these provincial level climbs. Now, each of our problems are divided into two distinct cruxes, the first one being to the zone and the second one being to the top. Being able to get to the zone itself should be an achievement. But if you're ever lucky enough to have a gym like ours with all of these wonderful sets, you should aim to try them. And even if you just get to the zone, this is already something that you can celebrate about. This is actually the third or maybe fourth set of competition boulders in our gym that are set to match the difficulty of the provincial, national, and World Cup competitions. On the team of route setters, we have TJ. He is one of the skilled setters who has first-hand experience at all of these levels. He has competed for quite a while and most recently in Innsbruck. So you better bet that the difficulty of these boulders are pretty on par. I was joking earlier about how when you see World Cup climbs, you see moves that you think you can do in your brain. But in reality, a lot of this does come from a little bit of truth. While it is insanely difficult to be at the highest level of climbing, and I am nowhere near that, it at least gives you a little bit heart to know that some of these moves can be as easy as they look. There's just a lot of them that aren't. So now we bump it up a level and we go to the national level of competition. These are the black tagged competition climbs in our gym, and the first one is none other than a lache paddle. Now, when I was looking at this one, I definitely had a little bit of hope. I have climbed a few of these before, and usually when it comes to these national boulders, I'm about a 50-50 win rate with topping versus zoning. And that's saying a lot because these are pretty difficult. If I were to take the difficulty up to the zone hold of any one of these climbs, I would compare it to probably the hardest climb in a commercial gym. You know, B pump aside, all that. It is a very short problem, being just one or two moves of a crux to the zone and one or two moves of a crux to the top. But if you condense that difficulty of the hardest problem in your gym, this is what you're getting to the zone. And the setters, they're pretty ruthless. They want to double down on it, and they want you to commit to another full effort attempt to the top. Now, one of the biggest differences that I've noticed between the provincial level of difficulty compared to the national level is the commitment level. Now, the strength required for both of these is surprisingly similar, but when we talk about committing to a move, such as the top of this national level boulder, it is insane to think about the level of guts that some of these World Cup climbers have. I was able to film a few different angles after the 5-minute mark, and those are some of the ones that you might be seeing cut in here and there. And in addition, after completing my 5-minute round, you're actually able to use a lot of the jugs on the wall. I'm very glad that they put progression holds on a lot of these problems, because being able to do the movement on slightly easier holds can definitely help when you're trying to practice for any type of competition. Let's see how I fail at these international level difficulty of boulders. Now, I've already mentioned how committing it is to go from the provincial to the national level, but now I want to talk about the difference between national and worlds, because there is a huge step up here. And I'm not just talking about this step up dyno. Previously, if you had maybe 2 out of 4 of the best qualities of a climber, you might be able to squeak past. But here at the international level, you have to have everything. You need strength, you need coordination, you need technique in heaps, and you need a ton of commitment. And if any one of these aspects is missing, or even just a little bit off, you're not going to make podium, you're not even going to make finals. As you can see here, I was unable to make even the first move work. The feet are incredibly slopey. It doesn't show well on camera, and I'm assuming that this is one of the reasons why cameras do not do justice for the level of difficulty on a lot of these climbs. The feet are incredibly slopey and bad, And so I decided that I wanted to jug up to the zone and test out the top. And I can say that it does go, but it is very powerful. Something that I would need to spend maybe a few sessions on to get. All right, on to the final problem of the day. This is our last boulder at the national difficulty. And just like the previous boulder, you're just gonna be seeing me fall a lot on the first move because I don't think I have the right beta, couldn't figure it out. Maybe you just need to try really hard, who knows? I'll leave this for somebody who actually knows. Now, I know what all of you couch creators at home are thinking. You know, I might be able to climb the hardest climb in my commercial gym. Were you able to do 2 of the hardest climbs in your gym? Did you do it back to back? Were you able to climb it in under 5 minutes? Or maybe, just maybe, you might have even flashed them? And did you pick out the boulders that suit you and your style? Or can you do the same for slabs, crimps, power, and coordination? If you can do all of those things, then congratulations. You've just earned yourself a national podium. You are on your way to climbing in the World Cup where everything is harder. Not just 1 step, 2, 3 steps harder than what I have just described, and even more ruthless. And hopefully I'm being accurate as possible here. I am not a competition climber myself, so it's definitely possible that I may have missed a few key points. So if anybody with experience can help out in the comments, that would be great. So hopefully I've been able to provide just a little bit of insight to your average climber trying all of these super difficult competition boulders. See you in the next one.